Hey everyone, welcome to Bald Guy Money. I am Bald Guy, and back in May of last year, I exposed a disturbing trend where many YouTubers who were talking about the imminent end of the US dollar and launch of a BRICS currency were taking money to promote Chinese propaganda on their channels on this platform. And since that video aired and people said I was stupid and that I had no idea what I was talking about, that China is strong and that they're ready to take over, we've seen China's property market, one of the most popular investment vehicles for regular Chinese people, collapse. We are seeing other Asian countries continue to steal manufacturing jobs from China as companies, including Chinese companies, seek to diversify their supply chains. Transparency of economic data being shared by China remains opaque at best, spooking off many investors who are not confident that the current regime is competently managing the country's economy. And this has resulted in a massive sell-off of the Chinese stock market, and we're looking at the Hong Kong index, the Seng index right here, which is down more than 40% over the last 5 years and might finally be finding a bottom. All of this as the Chinese government desperately tries to stimulate economic activity in much the same way that Western viewers are used to, and that is by creating new money and putting it into the economy, which is at least a part of the reason why the yuan has been hitting the very low end of its trading range against the US dollar over the last 9 months or so, and why in this video I want to talk about the oversized influence the Chinese market is beginning to play on the price of metals, including what's driving Chinese people to invest in metals today, what prices they are paying, if their demand is sustainable, and how I think Chinese demand will influence the development of metals prices moving forward. And this point concerns each and every person who either owns gold and silver or is considering buying gold and silver. Now, just before we get into it, if you're in the United States and want to buy gold or silver at a great price from a dealer with fantastic customer service, please check out channel partner Pimbex. They've currently got silver Britannias on their website as low as $25.77 per piece, and we've just seen some nice positive movement on the price of silver after bouncing off technical price support. So check out Pimbex.com for this deal. I will leave the link to it in the video description below. And if you want to talk to them for free about starting a gold or silver IRA, call them at the number on the screen. Just please remember to let them know you came from Bald Guy Money. So, to begin, what is driving Chinese citizens away from their tried and true investment vehicles and towards gold and silver? Well, to answer that, we have to recognize what have traditionally been the favorite places for Chinese citizens to park their money, and it goes like this. Starting with bank deposits, then real estate, stocks, and finally, precious metals. And to start, when it comes to their favorite place, bank deposits, as China has struggled economically, interest rates have been on the decline over the past 5 years. As a result, many Chinese have become unhappy with the rate of return they're seeing from savings mechanisms. As an alternative, in the face of declining interest rates, Chinese increasingly put significant amounts of their money behind real estate. Properties that were left unrented, as renting them out would result in the value of the property going down, and that resulted in the rise of Chinese ghost cities, and I've put a picture right here on the screen for you to see, and they've been funded by people looking for a return on their investment who paid little attention to the actual need for new real estate projects in a country where the population is in decline. The third investment vehicle, stocks, are not usually preferred by Chinese because there is a major lack of trust and transparency in the Chinese market when it comes to these investments. That fact, paired with the awful performance of the market, has left only one asset class that the Chinese really trust still. That being gold and silver, which the Chinese are traditionally skewed towards gold, which as you can see here is up 53.4% on the 5-year chart, making the Chinese much more confident about holding their money there versus keeping it in real estate or the stock market. But physical silver ownership is also experiencing more popularity in China right now too, and Chinese demand is an element keeping both of these metals from dipping to lower levels of price support right now. In addition to that, the physical demand in the market has resulted in some minor supply squeezes on the physical market, which means Chinese are often paying more for gold and silver than Westerners are, especially near the beginning of the year when they celebrate the Lunar New Year as they are now, with the Chinese often paying a few percent more for their metals than my viewers in the United States, for example. So now we have to answer the question, is this Chinese demand for precious metals sustainable, or will it eventually go away, resulting in a corresponding drop in the prices of both gold and silver moving forward? Using gold as our benchmark, you can clearly see by the projections here that demand for the metal is expected to rise every year right out to 2026, driven by the reasons I've covered so far in this video. Remember, China's population is in decline. This is not demand growth caused by new people entering the market, as you might see in a country that has a growing population. This is driven by Chinese citizens allocating more of their money to metals and less of it to other places, simply put. So my answer to the question on the sustainability of this demand we're seeing coming from China is yes. As many YouTubers are out there saying silver will hit $17 an ounce, and I don't know what these two YouTubers from The Image are talking about. I admittedly don't watch their channel. I just picked these up for examples for you to see in The Image. When it comes to which metals channels I watch 2 is 1, I watch Ron's Basement, I watch Silver Seeker sometimes, and I watch Yankee Stacking on the rare occasion. So this is not me calling these guys out. Again, I'm just using these video thumbnails and titles as an example of some of the fear that I'm seeing spread in the metal stacker community, because I know many YouTubers are saying this, because I see it in the comments section of my videos. And what people who are spreading that narrative don't realize is, and here are some examples of the same narrative being spread around for gold, is that this new paradigm, this new situation for the Chinese investor is making the floor price, so the technical support price for gold and silver, much higher. And it's likely why we're not seeing major dips in the price of gold below the $2,000 level right now, and why we saw the price of silver actually rise this past week despite the latest inflation numbers that resulted in a dump on the stock market. This, in my opinion, is the early sign of a metals bull market. And if smart money is any indication of where this market is going, Stan Druckenmiller, who I'd say is one of the smartest investors, just dumped some of his tech stocks and has entered gold miners Barrick and Newmont. The same trade from tech into miners that I made last summer, and I'm buckling up because I see growth in metals coming as well as returns on my mining positions. Now, these are two topics that I'm not seeing covered nearly enough, not only in mainstream investing outlets, media outlets I should say, but as well as within the metals stacking community channels. And it's something that I urgently wanted to make you all aware of because the economy is experiencing a downturn right now. We all see it, we all feel it, we know it's happening. Japan's just entered a recession, the UK's just entered a recession, and a flight to safety is right around the corner. And moving on to this video's viewer question, I'm covering this for many of my new subscribers who have joined the channel over the last few weeks. And please remember, I answer one viewer question in every video, so leave your questions in the comments section below. And this question from Mr. Jared Fleming ties in very well with what we're talking about, because just as we've seen Chinese investors pivot out of real estate, out of stocks, and increasingly into precious metals, Mr. Fleming asked me, he said he wants to know what my price prediction for silver is. So Mr. Fleming, I will do you one better in this video, and I will tell you that I see the price of silver reaching as high as $30.13 in 2024, and I'll throw in the price of gold for free by saying I see it hitting $2,400 an ounce as long as the macro situation continues to develop the way it is currently developing. So that doesn't include any unforeseen disasters that could negatively impact the price of gold and silver. And I encourage everyone to check out some of my older videos going through the calculations of how I got there, starting with my best and worst case scenarios for gold and silver in 2024 video. I'll link that video up in the description below. And just before I wrap up for this video, please, if you like my content, if you're interested in the things I'm talking about and covering here on this channel and want to go still a layer or two deeper, please join my Patreon for more Bald Guy content, tools. I give price targets, purchase alerts, and more. Link to join is in the description and pinned comment. With that said, that's it for this video, everybody. As I always conclude my videos, I want to say to you all, please take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Until the next time we see each other, everyone, goodbye.